Kraft presents the Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you the Kraft Music Hall every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. And we'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve after this word from our sponsor.
You know, I just learned from several mothers in the neighborhood that their meal planning problem is not 3, but 4 meals a day. That is, if you count the after-school snack that means so much to healthy growing children. Well, I found out, too, that many mothers make short work of that in-between meal. Along with a glass of milk, they serve a slice of bread spread with parquet margarine, and their youngsters are really satisfied. For parquet, the quality margarine made by Kraft, is both delicious and nourishing. It's made to order for grown-up wartime appetites as well as for hungry youngsters. Yes, parquet margarine has become a favorite mealtime spread because it has got such a grand, appetizing flavor, and because it is one of the best energy foods you can serve. What's more, every pound contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. So buy it tomorrow. That's Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Well, it's time to look in on the Great Gildersleeve. It's a cold winter Saturday, and he's at home, occupying himself with some papers that look pretty important. LeRoy plays happily with the fire with his little Christmas puppy.
If you claim credit in line 15 and disregard lines 19, A and B, complete schedule L1 on page 4 and enter result in line 19C. Gibberish. Has the puppy eaten this morning, LeRoy?
He sure has. He ate more than I did.
I wonder if I could take him off as a dependent. Yeah, probably not.
When are you going to help me build a house for him, Unc?
A house? Well, not today, LeRoy.
But you promised.
I know, but I got to get started on this confounded income tax.
I thought it didn't have to be done till March.
Yeah, don't worry. It'll take till March to finish it. Let's see. If line 20 is larger than line 21D, enter the difference here and also as item 20, page 1. If not, see item 23. The dog is right. Line 20 is, let's see. Confound it, LeRoy, you'll have to keep this dog quiet. This thing is very complicated.
Well, if he had his own house, he could go there and wouldn't bother anybody.
Well, I can't build it today, my boy, but you'll have to keep him quiet.
Okay. You have to be quiet, Stinky.
Yeah. What did you call the dog?
Stinky, that's his name.
Since when?
Since yesterday.
Well, I won't have him called that. You'll have to find something more suitable for him.
Oh, gosh, Unc, he likes it. It suits him fine.
Well, if you'd give him a bath every now and then, it probably wouldn't be so appropriate. Why don't you go give him a bath right now, LeRoy?
Well, it's bad for puppies to have baths in winter.
No nonsense. Who told you that?
You did.
Oh, well, well.
Uncle Mort, has the mail come yet?
Oh, I don't know, my dear. I haven't looked.
Oh, what's the matter, Stinky?
Marjorie?
What'd I do?
I do not like the name for the puppy. Can't we get something more dignified for him?
Like what?
Oh, he wants to call him Rover.
I didn't say anything about Rover, although Rover's a nice name for a dog. Here, Rover. Here, Rover. Here, boy. Here, Rover. Here, Rover.
He doesn't seem to go for that name.
Well, you can't expect him to know it the first time.
Here, Rover. Here, Rover. Come to Uncle Morty, Rover. Rover! Oh. Don't you growl at me, you little mutt.
Oh, wait. He's not a mutt. He's an Airedale.
An Airedale? Well, he acts like a mutt.
Oh, he can't help it. I'm going to go get the mail.
Yeah, and why don't you go somewhere too, LeRoy? Take the dog with you.
Well, it's too cold to go outside. What's there to do?
Well, go practice your piano. You haven't practiced all week.
Okay. Come on, Stink. Rover.
The victory tax credit. Phew, this is a Lulu.
Here you are, Uncle Mort. Some lovely mail to cheer you up.
Oh, what is it?
A bill from Dr. Hargrave.
Well, he certainly didn't wait very long. Wonder what he'll have the nerve to charge me. All those fancy instruments and complicated tests. Well, I won't pay it, that's all. The robber.
Well, what is it?
Let's see. For professional services, $2. $2? Well, what does he think I am, a pauper? Phew. LeRoy? That's better. Hey, say, there's something about deducting medical expenses on your income tax here. Instruction 15. A deduction is limited to such expense as...
Leroy! Oh, Leroy!
Leroy, answer Birdie. Confound it, I've got to have quiet here.
What do you want, Birdie?
Did you feed Stinky this morning?
Birdie?
Well, what's the matter, Mr. Gildersleeve?
That's not the name I want the puppy called. It's very offensive.
Well, it sure is, but it fits him, I hate to tell you. Well, what I want to know is how long is he going to be sleeping in my kitchen?
Yeah, but if he had a dog
Quiet! I've got to have absolute quiet here.
Yes, sir.
That's more like it. Now, single person not living with husband or wife, 25%. Less 2% for each dependent of line 4, with not more than $500 plus $100 for each dependent. By George, I give up. Come on, Leroy, let's build a doghouse for Stinky. Well, it's dark as your hat down here. You go ahead, Leroy, and turn on the light.
I will, if I can find it.
Well, it's right over there by the workbench.
Well, I know, but where's the workbench?
Right under the light.
Big help you are. Ow!
Well, what's the matter?
I bumped into something.
Well, why don't you watch where you're going? Oh, my God. Well, who left that there and what is it?
It's my sled.
What is your sled doing in the cellar?
I was polishing my runners.
Well, if I find it here again, Leroy, I'll burn it. Now, turn on the light.
I've got it. There.
Leroy, I thought I told you to clean this place up way before Christmas.
I did, Unc.
Uh-huh, you did. Well, just look at it.
I know. Isn't it terrible? You clean up anything around here and right away somebody goes and messes it up.
Yes.
It's discouraging.
I give up. Well, let's get started on the doghouse.
Yeah, let's. Now, here's the soapbox I've been saving.
Soapbox?
Well, I thought we could cut a hole in one end for a door, and then we could put a roof on top of it.
Oh, that's no good.
Well, why not?
Well, in the first place, it's not big enough. We need something about, 3 feet 6 inches.
3 feet 6 inches? The dog's only a foot long.
No, well, he won't always be a puppy, you know. You have to remember, we're building for the future here. And besides, whatever's worth doing at all, Leroy, is worth doing well. You remember that. Now, get me one of those long boards over there.
But they got nails in them.
We'll pull them out. That's the stuff, my boy. Now lay it right here on top of this soapbox, and we'll saw it into lengths.
Can I saw, Unc?
Well, perhaps, after I've shown you how.
Oh, for corn's sake! I've been sawing my whole life.
Well, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything, my boy. You might as well start by learning the right way.
Okay.
Okay, first, you observe. I take the ruler and I measure it off very carefully, exactly 3 feet and 6 inches. Then
Unc.
What?
The ruler? That's the wrong end.
Oh, well, they don't mark these things very clearly, my boy. There. Now the saw.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you. Now, there are saws, there are 2 kinds of saws. You know, there are those cross-cut and the other kind.
Rip.
Where?
No, rip saw. That's the other kind.
Oh, yes, very good, rip. Yes, and you know how to tell them apart?
No, how?
Well, it takes experience, yes. As a matter of fact, all these things call for experience.
Well, what kind is this?
Huh?
The saw, is it a cross-cut or a rip saw?
Well, sort of in between. Now, observe the way I hold it, Leroy. Lightly yet firmly, being careful at all times not to drop it or bang it against anything. Teeth are very delicate, you know.
Oh, I know.
Now, you take your piece of wood like so. place it on the box. Then you put your knee up on top. Oh, and are you watching, LeRoy?
Oh, I'm watching.
Now, next, I raise the saw and take careful aim and start in with a smooth, even stroke.
I think you hit a nail, Unc.
Yeah, darn wood, that's the trouble with it.
Yeah, that's bad for the saw, too.
You don't have to tell me, LeRoy, only it wasn't my fault. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make the doghouse 3 feet 5 inches. That way we'll miss all the nails.
Yeah, but there's a knot there.
A knot? Well, all right. 3 feet 4 inches. That'll miss the knot.
Well, I have to... Well, we may have to take a couple of inches off the dog, but let it rip.
All right. Darn wood. Must be green.
You know, Unc,
What?
I figure we're going to need about 48 pieces of wood just like that.
48?
Well, there's the bottom, and then you've got the 2 sides, the 2 ends, and then all the pieces for the top, for the roof.
Sheesh. All this for a dog. Okay.
What's the matter, Unc? Are you tired?
Oh, no, LeRoy. Here we go.
Unc, your coat!
Never talk to a man when he's sewing, LeRoy.
But your coat! You're
Here.
sewing it!
Oh. Yeah. Confounded thing. Let's see. All right. Stand back, LeRoy. Here we go. I'm sawing away, buddy.
Good work, Unc. That makes 17. Only 31 more to go.
31.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, down here, Birdie.
My goodness, have you been down here all afternoon?
Never talk to a man when he's sawing, Birdie.
Don't be impudent, LeRoy.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Miss Ransom's on the phone.
Oh,
Yes,
Mrs.
sir.
Ransom?
She wants to know, could you come over to her house for a little tea?
Could I?
Oh, Unc. No, Unc.
Tell her here I come, Birdie.
Yes, sir.
Unc, what about the doghouse?
Oh, well, you get the idea, LeRoy. I'll leave the finishing touches up to you.
Finishing touches. We haven't even started, and I don't know how to go on.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You find a nice soapbox and cut a hole in one end of it for a door. Tell her I'll be right there, Birdie.
Yes, sir.
Gosh, what a character.
How do you like your tea, Throckmorton? Strong or weak?
Well, I'm not much of a tea hound, to tell you the truth. I like it anyway.
You like it strong, probably, because you're so strong.
Yes, and I suppose you like it weak.
Oh, silly. Now tell me, what are you doing this evening? Have you any plans?
Plans? Not a thing.
Oh, good. You'll stay for supper then.
Oh, will I? Yeah. Leila, what's up now? Come on, you can tell me.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so impetuous.
All right, I'll sit over here then. Now tell me.
Well, drink your tea first. You know, Throckmorton, I've had a feeling you've been a little put out with me lately.
Put out? Well, I don't know where you got that.
Well, it's true. You know it is. Tell me, is it because of Dr. Hargrave?
Well, now, why should I be put out about him? He means nothing to me one way or the other.
Well, I thought it was maybe because of that party on New Year's Eve and because I've been seeing so much of him lately.
You have? I haven't noticed. This tea is very good.
I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. Now tell me, now that you've been to him, don't you agree that he's wonderful?
Yeah, who's wonderful?
Dr. Hargrave.
I don't see what's so wonderful about him. Just a doctor.
Oh, but I think all doctors are wonderful.
Well, I never hear you rave about Dr. Pettibone, but of course Dr. Pettibone doesn't kiss your hand.
Throckmorton, if you're implying that Dr. Hargrave has made advances to me, you're mistaken. Gracious, he's much too busy to have any interest in poor little me. All he cares about is science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all any real doctor cares about. Science. Oh, I love science.
Mm-hmm.
I think he looks a little like Walter Pigeon, don't you?
Well, who's Walter Pigeon?
You mean to tell me you've never seen Walter Pigeon in the movies?
Well, I can't tell one actor from another.
Oh, I saw him in The Life of Madame Curry last week, and he was wonderful, even with a beard. And oh, so was Greer Garson. All she did was stand at his side day and night and be a little help to him, and she'd bring him little sandwiches, little things to eat. That's all I'd ask.
What?
Just to be allowed to stay at his side and feel that I was contributing my little bit to science.
Now, are you talking about Walter Pigeon or Dr. Hargrave?
Throckmorton, you're laughing at me.
No, I'm not. It's just...
Well, he doesn't laugh at me. He told me he'd take me along with him on a case sometime.
Leila, if you got me over here just to tell me how wonderful Dr. Hargrave
I'm
is...
sorry, Throckmorton. I know you're jealous, and I shouldn't have...
I'm not jealous. Just because I'm not a doctor. Gosh, you'd think doctors were the only wonderful people in the world.
Oh, we can't all be doctors, Throckmorton. I know that. It takes all kinds.
Well, thank you.
Now, you're a businessman. That's wonderful, too.
Well, it's...
It is. You understand about financial things and all. Things that just make my poor little head swim.
Well, it's a matter of training, that's all.
Well, it's more than that. It takes genius.
Ooh, well, yeah, of course, if you want to call it that.
Oh, I just admire anyone showing they can add and subtract and everything.
And I bet Hargrave can't do it, and I bet Walter Pigeon can't do it either.
That's why I asked you over this evening, Throckmorton.
What? Why?
Well, I thought we'd be here together and we could just, you see, I got my income tax this morning and I declare I can't make heads or tails out of it.
Oh, that's it, huh? Well,
but I'd stay by your side every minute, Throckmorton, and I'd bring you little things to eat. Please. Pretty please.
by George, I wish I'd have stuck the Stinky in the doghouse.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few moments. Now a word from our sponsor.
During the coming drive for victory, we're all going to need extra energy to get that job done. And that's why it's so important to see that the family diet includes a plentiful supply of well-balanced, nourishing foods. Foods that really taste good, like parquet, the famous spread for bread made by Kraft. Parquet has a delicate, appetizing flavor that really satisfies. It steps up your family nutrition program because it makes the family want to eat more bread and other things that contribute to the growing health of your family. And as for energy, Parquet margarine is one of the very best foods you can serve. And remember, every pound contains at least 9,000 units of vitamin A. So for flavor, good nutrition, and economy, be sure to ask your dealer for Parquet. That's P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet, made by Kraft.
Well, now let's get back to the Great Gildersleeve. 2 hours have passed. He's right where we left him. He's trapped by the Widow Ransom's silken snare, and he's floundering about in her income tax.
Well, let's see here. Business or profession? Fill in Schedule C2. Farmers keeping notebooks or accounts. Well, she's not a farmer, that much I know. And she's not in the armed services, so,
Throckmorton, supper.
Ooh, thank goodness.
Oh, don't get up, darling. I'm bringing it to you on a tray.
Oh, well, what do you got?
Well, it's just a sandwich and a glass of milk.
Was that what Walter Pigeon gets?
Silly. I thought as long as we'd had tea, you wouldn't be wanting much, and this way you won't have to interrupt your work.
Oh, that's great.
How you coming? Oh, I see you're doing just fine.
I haven't even started yet, Leila. Now listen, if you want me to help you with this thing, you'll have to give me the necessary information.
Oh, I'll be glad to, Throckmorton, if it's not too personal.
Yes, well, to begin with, Leila, have you had any net gain or loss from sale or exchange of property other than capital assets?
Gracious, how should I know? I'd have to ask Judge Hooker.
Well, why don't you? Why don't you get him to make out your whole income tax form? He is your lawyer, after all.
Well, I know, but I've asked the judge to help me with so many things lately.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't ask him to do any more without charging me.
Well, he'd be glad to do it.
You really think so?
Oh, he'd be delighted. Let's call him up and get him over right now, huh?
Oh, I couldn't ask him, Throckmorton.
Well, then I will. Where's the telephone?
Right over there, under that door you just lift up.
Oh, cute. It's right in the judge's line, Leila. He'll be over, I'm sure, very quickly. We'll just give him a call here. Let's see. Yes, that's it. Hey, hello, Judge. How'd you guess? Say, listen, you old son of a gun, you. Where you been keeping yourself lately? I haven't seen you in a week. Is that any way to treat your friends? Oh, me too. Say, Judge, guess where I'm phoning from? I'm at Leila's. Yes, having more darn fun. Yes, but now we got to thinking about you, Judge, and Leila said, gee, I wish Horace were here. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to call him right up and see if he can't come over. How about it, Judge? Great. Hurry up now. Oh, and Judge, be sure to bring your glasses. You see, just leave it to your old Uncle Throckmorton. He'll be right up. Well, that can't be him.
Oh, excuse me. Why, it's Mr. Peavy. Come on in.
Peavy.
Good evening, Mrs. Ransom.
Well, well.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Won't you take your coat off?
Oh, no, I won't stay, Mrs. Ransom. I was on my way home to supper, and I just stopped by to leave you this.
Kleenex? Throckmorton, it's a box of Kleenex.
Kleenex?
Oh, you don't know how hard it is to get. Oh, Mr. Peavy, you're a lamb. I declare I could just kiss you.
Well, now, I wouldn't do that. As a matter of fact, I just had it put away for you under the counter, but then I had to go away for a few days.
Yes, I heard you had the flu, Peavy. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm just fine, Mr. Gildersleeve. Fit as a fiddle.
Oh? Fit as a fiddle and ready for love, huh?
Well, now, I hope I'm not interrupting anything here.
Oh, no, Peavy. Stick around. We weren't doing anything.
Just my income tax.
Yes, no rush about that. You say you were out of town for a couple of days.
Yes, Mrs. Peavy and I had to go down to Belleville.
Oh, great. Did you have a good time?
Well, we were there on a rather sad errand.
Aww.
My mother-in-law, Mrs. Peavy's mother.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I guess we have to go sometime.
Yeah,
Well, perhaps it's all for the best.
Well, I raised that point. Mrs. Peavy, she just couldn't seem to see it my way. Of course, she was upset.
Oh, of course.
But it was a nice service, yes. Dr. Kaltenmeyer spoke a few words, and we saw a lot of people that we hadn't seen in a long time. Everything was just so nice.
That's always such a comfort, I think.
Yes. You know, the old lady lived with us for a good many years before she went to Belleville to live with her son.
Well, I guess it won't seem like home without her.
No. Well, I guess I better be getting along home,
Well, don't rush off, Peavy.
Oh, no, don't. We're not doing anything. Just trying to finish my income tax.
Yes, the income tax. Have you looked at that thing, Peavy?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I looked at it this morning, and there's just one thing I wish someone would tell me.
Oh, well, what's that?
Are they kidding?
Oh, thank heaven. That must be Hooker. I'll go. Well, hello, Judge. Come on in.
Well, thank you, Gildy. By golly, I'm glad you called me up. I'm just in the mood for a little diversion.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place, Judge. Here, let me have your coat.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Plenty of diversion. Charming hostess.
Oh, indeed she is. Where is Leila?
Oh, she's in the other room. Yes, plenty of diversion, Judge, and a chance to do a good deed as well.
A good deed?
Say, Horace, let's help Leila with her income tax.
Gildersleeve, you're a dirty dog.
Well, why, Horace, the poor little girl is desperate. Are you going to let her think you're unwilling to help?
Well, I'm not unwilling. I just don't like to be invited to people's houses under false pretenses.
Oh, Horace, come on now. Be a sport. We'll have it done in no time.
Well, I guess you haven't seen the new tax form.
Well, Leila, here's Horace. Many hands make light work, you know.
Oh, Horace, you're an angel to help me.
Oh, glad to do it for you, Leila. Glad to do it. Now, you got your checkbook here, your deposit slips.
Throckmorton, I knew he'd think of something practical right away. Here they are, Judge.
Fine. Now, these represent all the money you received during the year, do they not?
Well, practically. All my big checks are deposited. Only once in a while I get a little bitty dividend, and I just cash that.
This is going to be harder than I thought.
Now, let me see that list of your securities. And now write down all the dividends, whether you got them or not.
Here's the list. Remember, you made it out for me yourself.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Now, let's see. 1 share of Happy Valley Light and Power, $5. 1 share of Fizdale Improvement Company, $5. 1 share of...
Leila, let's go in the other room and let the judge concentrate.
Why, he might want to ask some questions.
No, he's got all the stuff right there. Come on.
Throckmorton, I don't feel right sneaking off like this while the judge is working.
Well, we weren't helping him anyway, and when there's something I can do to help, I'll do it. Come on, let's sit by the fire.
No, I don't think we'd better, Throckmorton.
Oh? Well, okay, I've got a great idea then. Let's dance.
Oh, no, the radio would disturb the judge.
Well, we won't use the radio. I'll just sing softly into your pretty little ear.
Well, just for a minute.
All right. Why do I love you, and why do you love me? La 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 la
Oh, you do dance nicely, Throckmorton. Now, let's just dance, shall we?
Let's go downtown someplace and dance, Leila. Just for a little while. The judge will never notice we've gone.
Why, Throckmorton, what a disloyal idea. You got Horace here over to help you.
Yeah, and he's being a big help.
Now, Throckmorton, stop.
Hey, Gildersleeve, what's going on here?
Well, we were just dancing, Judge.
Dancing? I don't see any orchestra.
Throckmorton was just singing for the music.
Well, that sounds more like what I came over for. Gildersleeves, suppose you go check my addition while I shred a few badges.
Yeah, Judge, I'll take your addition on trust.
Well, I'd feel much better if you check it, Throckmorton.
Well, this is no fair, you old goat.
Leila, may I have the pleasure of this dance?
I'd be delighted, Judge.
All right, then. Play, orchestra, play. Put on your old gray bonnet with the blue ribbon on it while I put old Dobbin to the shade while we're off to over through the fields of clover on our golden wedding day.
My goodness, Horace, you certainly dance vigorously.
Well, thank you, Leila. You're a very good dancer yourself.
Why, thank you.
You're looking very handsome, too.
Now, Judge.
Say, why don't you and I go down to Peavy's and get a soda?
Why?
Throckmorton would never notice.
Why, Horsehooker, I thought you'd come over here to help me.
Well, I did, but Gildy's doing so well, I thought, oh, come on, it'd just take us a few minutes.
Judge, you ought to be ashamed.
Is this man annoying you, madam? Yeah.
Well, are you all through with the audition, Throckmorton?
Yeah, and the judge made a mistake, too.
I don't believe it. Where was it?
Oh, that's for you to find out. It's there. Come on, Leila, it's my dance.
Oh, now you boys are being ridiculous, both of you. Let's go and finish my poor little income tax, and then we can all have fun.
But Leila, it's my turn.
Now, you had the first turn. Now you're all leaving. Come on, Throckmorton, let's finish up.
Oh, well, come on, Judge.
All right, then. Now, let's see. Leila, did you make any contributions during the year 1943?
Well, I put 50 cents in the plate every Sunday. Oh, mercy, who can that be? Excuse me, Horace Throckmorton.
All right, Judge. Contributions is easy. But what do you say about capital gains? Let me see you explain that if you're so smart.
Good evening, Mrs. Ransom.
Why, Dr. Hargrave, what a surprise!
Well, I warned you I'd need your help on a case sometime. Are you looking to be my angel of mercy for a little while?
Oh, I surely would, Doctor.
Perfect. I've got a call only 20 miles out in the country. Some farmer's broken his leg, but it's a nice moonlit night and my tank is full of gas.
Oh, how exciting! How exciting! I mean, the broken leg.
Well, are you game?
Well, I'll tell you, I've got 2 income tax men here working on my return, and, well, I just don't really feel like...
We'll only be 2 hours maximum, I promise.
Well, what is it, Leila?
Oh, Throckmorton, I want to...
Oh, hello there. What's your name? Gildersleeve.
Hey.
Yes, and, Judge Hooker. Yes.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Hello, Hargrave. What do you want? Your $2?
No. I've got an emergency case out in the countryside, Mr. Gildersleeve, and Mrs. Ransom has very kindly consented to come along with me as my anesthesiist.
Oh, Dr. Hargrave!
And now look here, Leila.
Leila, this isn't fair.
Oh, now it's only 20 miles.
20 miles!
Well, where's my coat?
Is this it?
Oh, yes, thank you. Now, you boys keep working, you hear? I'll be back in 1 hour.
But Leila.
Leila!
Bye.
Goodbye.
I'll be doggone. What's he got that we haven't got?
Science. LeRoy, it's 8:30. Bedtime, my boy.
Why, so it is, Unc. I've been working so hard I didn't even notice.
What have you been... What is that?
It's a doghouse.
A doghouse? It has 3 floors.
Yeah, it sure does. A living room, a dining room, and a bedroom. You see, I made a slight miscalculation on the amount of wood we needed, so I just kept building until I used all of it. It took 47 pieces of wood.
How many?
47.
That many? Well, you used almost all of it.
I've got 1 left.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use that for a sign. I'm going to put on top of it, and it says, Stinky.
Yeah, well, you'll never get that dog to go in there. By the way, where is the Airedale, anyway?
Check out the 3rd floor bedroom.
Well, good night, Stinky, and good night, everybody.
This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, inviting you to listen next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. This is NBC.